Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm so sorry we had to reschedule the lesson this week, but I had some family situations that I had to give my time to, and they couldn't be changed another time. So thank you very much. It's so lovely to see you. Give us a wave. Lots of names that I'm recognizing there. So I know we've got some people who've been here before. I don't know why it's so pixelated. It's not on my screen, so I'm not sure why that is. Hello, anybody new here today, or are you all old friends? Got any new friends who have joined us today? I can see lots of names that I recognise. As a new name slipped in there, give us a wave if you're new. Give me a thumbs up if you are an old friend who's been here before. It's so lovely to see you back. Okay, I'm old. Old friend, I think you mean. Okay, so lovely. Hello. Welcome, old friends. Haven't seen anybody yet saying that they are new to join us. So hello, old friends, and welcome back. Hello, my chickadees. So it's cold and rainy outside, but it's warm and friendly in our maths class here. So old friends, let's get started. I've got a brain teaser up here, and I can see that some of you have already been working on it, and you have already offered answers. So Rosie is counting back in fifths. She starts at 3, and I can't read that, so you're quite right. 2/5, look like 7 there. And she counts back 9/5. So let's just draw a little number line up for ourselves. We'll go there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, because the 5th is the whole number. 1, 2. She starts at 3 2/5. So she starts there. 3 2/5. And she's going to count back 9/5. So let's take 9 jumps back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's where she ends up. There. 1, that's the number 1 there. And 1, 2, 1 3/5 is where she ends up. 1 3/5. Who got that? Now we have done some number line work before, so I would hope, old friends, that you used that old work we did together and you were able to draw yourselves a fraction number line to help with that. So I just drew myself a fraction number line. I knew we were starting on 3 2/5, and then I made my number line into fifths, 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/5, which is 3, and I used that to just make sure that I did not make a mistake. So, well done. Let's have a look at the next problem teaser. So it gives us a number line of, very bright, thank you. Let's have a look. That's 8ths, that number line there. So we've got 0, 1, and 2. That's what the number line shows. And it's in 8ths. So I'm going to put my half mark in there. There's the number 1 there, just to make sure. And then I can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can you go over there too, please? Because you're making it look like you're not there. Okay, so what have we got here? Brain teaser. How many different ways can we show a difference of 1/4 on there? Well, first of all, we have to sort out what 1/4 is. So the number line is split into 8ths. How many 8ths is 1/4? How many 8ths is 1/4? Come on, choppy chop, chop, chop. How many 8ths are 1/4? What's equivalent to 1/4? How many 8ths? Let me see those answers flying in. How many 8ths are the same as 1/4? Yeah, 2/8 equals 1/4, exactly. So on this number line, we could show a difference of 1/4 anywhere where we were showing 2/8. So we could say a difference of 1/4 is what? So between 4/8 and 6/8, the difference there is 1/4. we could say between 1 and 2/8 and 1 and 4/8 or a half. Yeah, that's a quarter. We could say that's a quarter. Anywhere where there were 2/8 of a difference, we could show on the number line. Okay, so just lots and lots of different options there. Okay, plot the sequences on a number line. Which of these sequences is the odd one out? So if you have a look at those sequences, which do you think are odd ones out? Can you look at those sequences and think which you think are odd ones out? Let's have a look. Which do you think are odd ones out? Have you got any ideas? There's not a one right answer. There's not a one right answer. So look at those sequences. Which do you think are odd ones out? Well, that first one, we've got 3.5, then 4, then 4.5, then 5. So that's taking jumps of halves, isn't it? Then we've got 13 quarters, 15 quarters, 17 quarters, and 19 quarters. So we are jumping up in 2 quarters, or we're still jumping up in halves, actually. There, 2 quarters. Well, no, 2 quarters is a half, yeah. So we're still jumping up in halves. And we've got 5 and 5/8, 5 and 1/8. 4 and, oh, so we're still coming down in halves, okay. And 3 and 1/8, 3 and 3/8. Oh, so that one's a quarter. Oh, there we are. That's one. I think the second one, because it is the only one using improper fractions. That is a very acceptable answer. Thank you very much. Like I said, there's not one answer. So anybody got a different suggestion? That is true. It is the only one using improper fractions. So that makes it an odd one out. Anybody else got another suggestion? So the second one is the only one using improper fractions. Anybody else got another suggestion? The second one could also be an odd one out because it's the only one not using whole numbers as well, isn't it? So that could be another reason it could be an odd one out. Any other odd one outs? I think the fourth one, because I think the fourth one is the only one that's taking jumps in a quarter, and all of the others are taking jumps in halves, aren't they, I think, if we look at it. So that's another reason. Okay, the first one's ascending, the second one, oh, is descending. Oh, the third one could be an odd one out because it's the only one in descending order. All the others are in ascending order. Excuse me, class, I'm the only one doing the work here. Come on. A good lesson should have the learners working the hardest, not the teacher. So, lots of different suggestions for that second problem. Not always the same thing. So I am going to jump out of this now. And today we are going to jump straight into some good news. What have I, oh, let's put you back on full screen. What have I been going on and on and on and on and on and on about, saying, oh, we're very busy at Bright Idea Education working on what? What we've been very, very busy working on. What have we been really, 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 really busy working on? Who can remember what we have been very, very busy working on? An app, not a app, an app. Let's make sure we get our English language correct. An app, yes, an app. Now, I didn't say what it was called because I said that was a secret, but today I can, because the app is now available for iOS. It's now available on the Apple Store. It's not yet available on Android, but it's going to be very, very soon. I'm Android, so I will be really pushing for that. It is called Cosmico. Cosmico. It is free, and I would love that you download it, and we'll make sure the Android version is available very, very soon. Okay, when you look on your phone, I've got a test version here. Can you see Cosmico up there? Come on, get into focus, camera. Cosmico, and let's click on it so I can just show you. Oh no, I don't want to show you. No, I don't want to show you me coming back. I'm going to want to show you what it looks like when you first log on. So look, there's Bright Idea Education. I know the music very well because I have played this so many times. Tap to start. Oh, all my users. Look, all my users. Let's have a little look. We will go in at year 6. Okay, you can choose how you want your avatar to look. Control center. Okay, so you get to start. Control center. The first subject we're dealing with is math. Whoa! My phone is shaking now as the spaceship goes past. There's the spaceship. There's the spaceship. Don't download it now because I'm teaching. Download it after. And in you go. Oh, I don't want to show you anymore. I don't want to show you anymore. Stop, 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 stop. Because I want you to play it later. I should have shown you at the end of the lesson. And when you do, at the end of the lesson, come back, my children, come back. I want you to tell me why I am showing you this. Why I am showing you this purple dragon. What has this got to do with the app? Now, when, after the lesson, you play the game, okay, well, the game's there's missions and there's a mini adventure. If you like it and your parents or carers say that you can, it would be great if you did a video and gave us some feedback of what you liked about it and sent that to us. Do not say your name. Do not say, I am so-and-so. I live in this street, in this house. I go to this school. No, safeguarding. Keep yourself safe online. Just say, hi, I played the app. This is what I thought about it. This is me playing it. No names. But you've got to have your parents and carers' permission to do that. Send it to us on the email link, and we're putting together a little montage of people who are playing the game, and it would be great to have some people from our live streaming lessons come in and saying something about the live streaming. Say, I've been doing the live streaming lessons and I've downloaded the app. This is what I think, and that would be fantastic. I know that we have had some people from our demo schools when we took the app in the autumn term and the spring term. If you're one of those people, then you could say, hey, they came in and showed us the demo game, in year 4, and now I've downloaded Cosmico and this is what I think. That would be absolutely amazing. Okay, we went into school yesterday, went to Broadmead Primary School. Thank you very much, Broadmead Primary School in Croydon. They allowed us to come in and do some filming in there. We had already been to them as a demo school. And we worked with the key worker children who were in there, and they played the game, and we filmed some of them and interviewed some of them, and that was fantastic. So thank you so much for allowing us to come in Broadmead. That was amazing. So download the app after the lesson and let us know what you think about it. If you're not allowed to be videoed or filmed, be amazing to have your comments. Just send your comments in on the email. That would be amazing. We can use those as well. But keep yourself safe online, please. No names, no school uniform video, do anything that identifies where you are from, where you are, just you. Oh, I came to your school. Well, if we came to your school, it would be amazing if you could give us some feedback, have a look at the game and see if you were in year 4, because we only worked with year 4 on the demo game because it was only for year 4. Now we've made it for year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different levels. Okay, the game gets easier and harder as you practice things. So let us know. Anyway, folks, back to the lesson. Let's do a quiz. I knew I'd have to do a quiz to get your attention back. So we're going to do a quiz. If you are busy downloading, you're not going to be able to do your quiz and you're not going to get a good score. So let's get back to learning. And then you've got that exciting thing to do at the end. So let's get the first quiz for, I don't want to share the screen. Now you've got me all excited now and I'm clicking on the wrong things. Okay, let me just get the right quiz. That's, I am clicking on all the wrong things here. Let me get sorted. Okay, calm. I'm so excited about the app. So you just get me talking about it and then I'm all like, wow. Okay, everybody, focus, and calm. Back to our lesson. Let's get going. Let's have a look at our quiz. And then we will go through the questions together. Okay. We will go through the questions together to see how we are doing. Okay. So I will just get the questions up here so that we can go through them together once you have done them. So they need a little bit of thinking about. Okay. So make sure you've got some pen and paper with you. They need a little bit of thinking about. They're not going to be something you can do straight in your head. So you are going to need to have a pen and paper. To go through. Okay, work your way through. Just make sure you know what the quiz is showing you, because the fractions don't always show it really clearly. So it's a whole number and a fraction. Make sure you don't miss out the whole number. Just make sure I've copied those down correctly. Okay, so I've got those on the board for us to look at. Okay, work your way through, work your way through. And the app is free. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. It's free. But you have to wait till the end of the lesson. Okay, so well done. Just check your answers if you finished. Just check your answers if you finished. Okay, we're just going to give a little bit more time. I can see lots of you are working on question 3 now. And I've put your answers in. I've got lots of different suggestions for these. This is why I want to keep going over these, because actually if everybody was secure, we would only have one answer being given, because there's only one correct answer. But for every one of those questions, we've got people choosing different answers. So we really, really need to lock this down and go through this, okay? So I am going to end voting. We will share results, but I want to go through these questions first, because I'm putting the bigger screen in so we can go through. So I want to go through the questions, and then I want to share the results so you can really think about if you got them correct or not. So remember, when we are adding or subtracting fractions, when we are ordering, when we are comparing greater equals less than, we need to make sure that they're equivalent. Okay, the denominators are equivalent so that we can compare them. Sometimes we said we can do the numerators if that's easier, if we've got sort of prime numbers, and then we can make if we can make the numerators the same, then we can actually compare, because we know the bigger the new denominator, the smaller the fraction. But actually when we're adding and taking away, we're looking at the lowest common denominator. Now these are all in the same family, okay, 5, 10, 20. So we know we can put them in the same family. We know that if we do 20, 10 and 5 are multiples. They're going to be okay. So we can put them all over 20. We can put them all over 20. But if we are going to change 3/5 into 20th and make it an equivalent fraction, if we are changing the denominator, we have to do exactly the same to the numerator. Otherwise, it is not an equivalent fraction. So what did we do to 5 to make it 20? Well, we had to multiply it by 4, because 4 5s are 20. So we have to do exactly the same to the numerator. We have to multiply it by 4. Okay, so 4 3s are 12. Okay, so 3/5 is the same as 12 20ths. Now 2 20ths. We don't have to do anything to that, it's already. So that stays the same. 4/5 is the same as how many 20ths? Well, we doubled the bottom to make it 20. 2 10s are 20. We have to double the top. 2 4s are 8. Okay. So there are all of our fractions made into 20th. 20 was already there. 2 20ths was already a 20th. So 3/5 was 12 20ths. 4 10ths was 8 20ths. Now we can add up all the numbers on the numerator. So I would do 12 and 8, because I know that makes 20, and then add the 2 to make it 22. So we have got 20. Oh, let's just, not very helpful if I put that up there. 22 20ths. Am I still on screen? No. So let's make that come over so I am. There we are. So we've got 22 20ths. That is an improper fraction. So we can simplify. So 20 20ths makes 1 whole one, and 2 20ths left over. We can simplify that to 1 and 1/10. So the answer to this one, I shall write it here, is 1 and 1/10. Okay, because we ended up with, come on, let's get the last bit on. There you go. There we go. we ended up with 22 20ths. That's a whole one, and 2 20ths, which we can simplify to 1 and 1/10. Okay, so let's have a look at the next one. Let's just take that away, give ourselves a bit of room. Okay, if you got it wrong, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that you know where you went wrong. Okay, that's the important thing. So let's look at this one. We had a whole one, take away 3/15 and 1/5. Now we have to solve this bit first, don't we? We have to work out that bit first before we can take it away from the whole one. So we need to make sure that we put these over the same denominator. So they're in the same family. We know that 5 is a multiple of 15, so we'll be able to put them over 15. That's the lowest common multiple. Okay. 15, we didn't have to do anything to it. It is still, that's the 3/15. 5, what do we have to do to 5 to make it 15? We had to multiply it by 3. So we've got to do the same to the top. So 3 3s are 1. So this bit in brackets, when we solve it, it is 6/15. Okay. So now we can move on to this. So 1 take away 6/15 equals how many 15? 6 and what makes 15? Because 1 is 15/15, isn't it? It's a whole one. Yeah? So 1 and 9/15. We've got 9/15 left. Let's simplify that. Okay? Let's simplify that. We can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 3. 3, 5. Answer 3/5. Always simplifying, okay? Always simplifying. Yeah, just take it step at a time. Take it a step at a time. So this is an addition. So we've got to make the denominators the same. But as it's an addition, we're not going to have to break a whole number down to divide, to take away. So we can add the whole numbers up. 2 and 4 is 6. And then we need to make them common denominators. Well, we can see that 3 is a multiple of 9, so we can put it all over 9. We didn't have to do anything to 9 to make it 9, so the first fraction stays the same. 3, we had to multiply it by 3, so we multiply the top by 3. Okay, so we end up with 6 and 9/9. Well, 9/9 is a whole one, isn't it? So we've got 6 and 1 makes 7. 6 and 1 makes 7. So the answers were 1 and 1/10, 3/5 and 7. Okay, so let's go back in to the survey and let's share your results to see how you got along. Okay, share your results to see how you got along. Now, with fractions, the important thing is that you do it stage at a time. Always checking your maths. But if you do not know your times tables, then fractions are going to be a problem. If you have to think, 9 and 3, no. Life will be much harder for you if you do not know your times tables. So the absolutely essential thing is that you are practicing your times tables over and over again so that you just know the relationships, okay? That you see those relationships straight away and they can help you with your problem solving. Okay, so how did we get along? How did we get along? Now, you know what I say? If you struggle with any of this, you need to jump on the earlier lessons, okay? Jump on the earlier lessons. You're not going to get many more opportunities like this while school is not back full time to actually revise and go over maths that you were not so sure of before. You don't have to go to an intervention, don't have to leave the classroom, don't have to go out with anybody. You can just, in the privacy of your own home, try another lesson that's actually going to go over things that you were not so sure of, okay? So please, please, please use this as an opportunity to get a little bit more practice. So with that in mind, let's do some quick fire practice to keep you sharp. Okay, so I'm going to drop the screen down. Oh, look at this. I wonder why this is here. Ooh, you'll have to download the app later and tell me. Let's drop down. Okay, let's drop down. Let's drop down and have a look at what we got going on here. It's quick fire. Let's have a look. Greater than equals less than. What's going on here? 2/3 and 2/4. What's going on here? Do you even have to convert them into equivalent fractions to know this? Do you even have to do that? Or do you just know? Do you just know that 2/4 is the same as a half? And you know that 2/3 is bigger than a half. Okay, we know this. Now I've got buffering going on in my second screen. So does that mean I'm losing you? Let's have a look. Are you there? No, you're not there. The internet does not like the rain. Okay, so looking at that fraction, those of you who are still here, maybe not everybody has dropped out. Okay, not everybody has dropped out. Hopefully some of you are still there looking at these. Okay, am I back? Yes, I am back. Okay, so we know that 2/4 is the same as a half. We know that. And we know that 2/3 is more than half. So we can say we know that that is bigger. We know that 2/3 is bigger than 2/4. We know 2/3 is more than a half. So we don't have to do any of that converting because we know we're using our previous knowledge to help us. Let's have a look at this one. Let's have a look at this one. Again, let's use our previous knowledge. Let's use our previous knowledge. What we know already. Let's use what we know already. Okay, let's use what we know already. So if I'm going to get this fractions chart out because just like times tables, this fractions chart should be in your head, like an internal tattoo. It should be in your head. Okay, let's just move that down so that you can see. Now we know that 1/4 is the same as 2/8. 1/4 is the same as 2/8. So 3/8, we know it's going to be bigger than 1/4. We don't even have to do any of that equivalent fraction converting. We don't have to do that because we know. But if we didn't know, we could just make them the same. If we didn't know, we would have to make quarters into the same as eighths. So we would double the bottom and we would double the top. And then we would be able to see that 3/8 is bigger than 2/8 because we made quarters into eighths. Okay, but if we know from our fraction charts that a quarter is the same as 2/8, then we know that 3/8 will be bigger. Okay, so using the maths we know already. Let's use the maths we know already. It's always great to use the maths you know already. Let's use the maths we know already. Let's use the maths we know already. Okay, let's think about it. What do we know that 3/6 is equivalent to? Okay, we know that 3/6 is the same as 1/2. Let's just have a look. There's 3/6 here. And look, it's the same as 1/2. And we know that 3/4 is more than 1/2. So we can say, hey, that's the same as a half. So 3/4 is going to be bigger. 3/4 is going to be bigger. 3/4 is going to be bigger. It's using the maths we know already. If we don't know that, then we can say, oh, I need to make this. I need to make them equivalent fractions. I can't really make them the same as that. I can't make that 6 into a 4 easily, or that 4 into a 6. So I'm going to have to put them on the same denominator. Well, look, 12. They've both got both multiples of 12. So 4, I had to multiply by 3 to make 12. So 3 3s are 9. 6, I had to multiply by 2 to make 12. So 2 3s are 6. And there we can see 9/12 is bigger than 3/6. So if you're not sure on the fraction board, if you can't think, well, I know 3/4 is bigger than a half and that's the same as a half, then you can just make them the same denominator. And then you can compare the numerators. So 3/4 is bigger than 3/6, bigger than a half. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Can we use the maths we know already, or do we need to convert them into the same fraction? Let's have a look. Now, it's easy to convert them into the same fraction because it's 5 and 10. So we can just very quickly double up. If we make that into tenths, double the bottom, double the top, then we can very quickly see. But for me, I looked at that and I said, well, I know 5/10 is a half. And I know 3 is over halfway to 5 because 2.5 is halfway to 5. So I would just say that's a half and that's more than a half, and I would just know from there. But if you didn't have that sense of there's 10 and there's 5/10, it's the same, and 3/5 is where are the fifths? There they are. 3/5 is over a half and 5/10 is a half. If you didn't have that in your mind, then you could make them equivalent fractions. Okay, so 3/5 is bigger than 5/10. So it's just worth going through these things and saying, hey, make life easy for myself. Why am I having to make everything the same? So again, what do you know about the fraction board? The feeling of that. 3/4 and 5/10. What could you use rather than having to make them have the same denominator? What maths could you use rather than making them have the same denominator? Well, again, I know that 5/10 is the same as a half. There it is. 5/10 is the same as a half. But 3/4 is bigger than a half. So for me, I look and I say, well, 5/10 is a half. I know that 3/4 is bigger than a half. If I didn't, then I would say, okay, what's the common denominator? Well, it's not going to be the same denominator. Let's have a little look. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Oh, 20. I could make them 20s. Okay, so let's put them over 20. What do I have to do to 4 to make it 20? Well, 5 4s are 20, so 5 3s are 15. What do I have to do to 10 to make it 20? I had to double it, double the top. Okay, 15 20ths, 10 20ths. Make them both equivalent fractions. Or I just knew that 3/4 was more than a half, which is the same as 5/10. Okay, so use the maths that you know already. Use the maths that you know already. Okay, so I've got some more of those. We'll do some more of those next week. Let's just do a refresh. Can you please simplify that for me? Can you please simplify that for me? Okay, can you simplify that fraction? Let me write on here what we're doing. Simplify. Can you simplify that fraction for me, please? Just a few little brain teaser warm-ups, and then we're going to do some problems while our brains are warm. Okay, simplify. What goes into 21 and 7? What can you do? Is there a common factor? There is, isn't there? Because 3 7s are 21, aren't they? So we can make that into 2 whole ones. 7 goes into 7 once. 7 goes into 21 3 times. So we can simplify that into 1/3, 2 and 1/3. What have we got on there? Yeah, 1/3, that's right. Okay, there's a little mark on the screen. I thought that said 4/3. Then it's like, no! 2 and 1/3. We can simplify that into 2 and 1/3. Okay, just simplify that one for me, please. How could that one look simpler? How could that one look simpler? Yeah, let's give the highest common factor. What's going to go into both of those? Well, 8 doesn't divide into both of them, does it? So let's start going through. 2, is there something bigger than 2? They both go into 4. Okay, both 4. So 4 goes into 8. I'm going to divide by 4. 4 goes into 8 twice. 4 goes into 12 3 times. So we can simplify that into 2/3 because we are dividing both by 4. Okay, one more. Let's simplify this one. Simplify this one. The first thing I do is say, oh, can 15 go into 50? Oh, now 3 15s are 45, so that I can't. So let's have a look at the factors of 15. 3, 5. Oh, 5. Okay, 5. Let's try that. Because if you didn't get the highest one, you can always simplify again then, if you didn't get it the first time. So let's divide them both by 5. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 5 goes into 50 10 times. Is there a common factor of 3 and 10? No, there is not. Okay, so 3/10. Yeah, 3/10 is a simpler fraction. Okay, brains are warmed up. Now, I would like you, please, with your brains warmed up, to solve this for me, please. Can you solve this for me? I'm going to remove the fraction board because I want you to just be able to focus. Can you solve this for me? What's the triangle worth? What's the square worth? And what is the circle worth? What's the triangle worth? What's the square worth? And what's the circle worth? Oh, brains, I can hear them, I can hear them. I can hear the brains, I can hear the brains ticking over. Let's do some problems. I've got 2 problems for you to do, and then we will finish with a quiz. But let's get these problems, let's get some ideas. Okay, because it's often the problem-solving questions that catch us out because we might panic, we might not think clearly, we might think, oh, I don't really know what it is. So let's have a little look at what they could be. What they could be. Now, 2 of these equals a half. Okay. And then that take away that equals 1/8. So there could be a couple of combinations here, couldn't there? They could be like 1/4 and 1/4 equals a half. And if we drop this down and make it 1/4 over here, then 1/4 take away something equals 1/8. Okay, well, you might automatically be able to say, oh, well, I know what that is. Or you could say, all right, let's make it 8. So 1/4 is also 2/8, isn't it? So if you had these as 2/8, then that would make this 2/8. Then 2/8 take away 1/8 is 1/8. Okay. You might have known that from a quarter. You don't need to make it into 8 if you knew that 1/4 take away 1/8 was 1/8. You might have just known that. That's absolutely fine. Okay. So then what does that circle mean? So if this is 1/8, what do you need to add to 1/8 to make it a half? What do you need to add to 1/8 to make it a half? What's the circle there? Yep, so we've got the triangle is 2/8 or a quarter I'll put a quarter over there as well because that is correct. Or you could have said 4/16, whatever. That would make things more complicated. Okay, the square is 1/8. And then the circle, quite rightly, is 3/8. Okay, the circle is 3/8. So you start with what you know. If you know what the double is, you can work out what the half is. Then once you know that, you can put it in and work out this missing one. Once you know that, you can put it in and work out that missing one. Okay, so just taking your time, working your way through. So we have a word problem here. Come on, folks. Let's move that camera up a little bit so that we can get all of that in. Come on, computer. There we are. Let's move that up and you get on. I come from the shops with 3/4 of a kilogram of apples, 1/5 of a kilogram of strawberries, and a lolly which I eat. How heavy is my shopping? Is it more than 1 kilogram? How heavy is my shopping? Is it more than 1 kilogram? Now, word problems. Word problems. The same in English and maths. What is the essential information? Here, how heavy is my shopping? Well, 3/4 of a kilogram of apple, that's essential. 1/5 of a kilogram of strawberries. Is the fact that I bought a lolly and I ate it, is it essential information? No, it is not. It's additional, but it's not essential to telling me how heavy my shopping is because I did not put the lolly in the shopping bag. I ate it. So it's not a trick question. It's not a trick question. So we had 3/4 of a kilogram and we had 1/5. Okay. Oops, a daisy. There we are. And we had 1/5. So we have to find common denominators. We have to find the lowest common multiple. Let's go through 4, 4, 8, no, 12, no, 16, no, 20, yes. So we're going to put them over 20. To make 420, I have to multiply by 5. So I have to multiply by 5 at the top. 5 3s are 15. To make 520, I have to multiply by 4. Do the same to the top. 4 1s are 4. So I have 19/20. Are there any common multiples? No, 19's a prime number, so there are not going to be any. Is it a whole one? Is 19/20 of a kilogram a whole one? No, it is not, because 20/20 would be a whole one. So is my shopping more than 1 kilogram? No, it is not. It is less than 1 kilogram. It is less than 1 kilogram. Okay, so sort out the essential information. Well done. Nope, 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 nope. It is not. It is less. So sort out the essential information. Work your way through the problem. Sometimes there are 2 steps. You have to solve the problem and then answer the question. Okay, don't panic. Work your way through. So let's finish off with a quizzy quiz. Let's finish off with a quizzy quiz. Let's make sure I get the correct quiz. I believe it is this one. Yes, it is. Okay, let's finish off with a quiz. Okay, you might want to make a note of your answers on a paper. When I'm going through them, sometimes people say, oh, I'm not sure whether I got that. So when you choose an answer, you should have pen and paper beside you. Just make a note of the answer that you put in. So when we're going through, you think, oh, yeah, I got that one right. I got that one right. Okay. So the first one is a simplify. Next one is a subtraction. Oh, a nice round, good selection. And the next one is ascending order. Okay. Okay, make sure that you make a note of your answers so that when we are going through them, you okay, well done for the people who've joined us. I know that you were not here at the beginning, but well done. Even if you can't get from the beginning, it's good to just come to as much as you can. Okay, so hello, and I hope you come on Tuesday. Remember, we start at 12, so try and get here at the beginning if you can. But I know sometimes there's other things. You might have school in the morning now. I know that lots of schools are taking year 6 back in, and some schools are doing year 5, so I know our numbers are going to drop. And you can always watch the lesson on YouTube and work it through, but obviously you won't be doing it live, but still good to do. Okay. Hello. So we've done the quiz. We're nearly done. Let me just see if I've got some answers coming in. Some people are finished. Some people are still working their way through. Let me just go down and check. So just to remind you, when you put your answers in, only you know what you have put in. Okay? Do not worry about putting your answer in and thinking, oh, what if people know I put the wrong answer? Nobody knows. That is the beauty of these lessons. Nobody knows who you are. You can put a false name. You can really, really relax and have a go and try without worrying. If you are a worrier, but did I get it right? Oh my goodness me. Oh, if I join the earlier lesson, people might know I'm not feeling confident. Nobody knows. You can do whatever you need for you. And I know I have some adults that have said, can I join as well? Of course you can, because this is about learning and about helping people to be relaxed and building confidence. Okay? You do not use your real name. You do not need to talk to each other. We just make sure that we're here for the learning and we build our confidence. Okay, I am going to close the quiz. Okay, all right, but don't worry if you didn't get it right. It's knowing where you went wrong is the important thing. I'm going to end the quiz now. And once again, I have got lots of different answers. So that does tell me that not everybody is confident. Let me just look through. Yeah, for question 1, I've got, you're quite split on question 1 and question 2. Okay, question 3, you're split over 2 answers. So that's going to be interesting. So have you made a note of what you put in? So when we go through, you can check. Just make a note. Just before I end the quiz, just make a note. Okay, that you know. So the first one asked you to simplify 27/6. So we know we can make lots of holes out of that whole with a W, not whole, just H-O-L-E. So for each 6/6, we've got 1 hole. So this is where it comes to really knowing your tables. You have to know your tables. You have to be able to look at that and think, oh, 4 6s are 24. So I've got 4 whole ones straight away. 4 6s are 24, so I've got 4 whole ones straight away. So I've got 4 whole ones. 24, 27, that's 3 left over. So 4 and 3 6. Hey, hang on a minute. I can simplify 3 6. So the answer was 4 and a half. Okay, the answer to the first one was 4 and a half. Okay, 4 and a half. So let me just take us onto full screen so that you can see it better. There we are, because we'll put it back onto the quiz to share results afterwards. So 27/6, 4 6s are 24. Okay, 24, 27 take 24 leaves 3. So I can do 4 whole ones and I've got 3 6 left over. I need to simplify 3 6. Okay, so the answer is 4 whole ones and a half. Why have I got questions? I'm not putting the scores up yet because I want to go through, and then I'll put the scores up, okay? I want to go through the quiz, then I will share the scores. I will go back to it. Do not panic, my children. Do not panic, okay? So that's the first answer. Yeah. Okay, you can't see me. Why can't you see me? Okay, I'm here. I'm here. So the next question was 1 1/3 take away 3/6. 1 1/3 take away 3/6. So we have to make these have the same denominator. 3 is a multiple of 6. We can see that, can't we? We can put them over 6. We know that. So what did I do to 3 to make it 6? I multiplied it. So I have to multiply the top. So 2, 1/3 is the same as 2/6. So I've got 2, nothing to do with this because that's still 2, 6, take away 3/6. I can't do that unless I'm going to do negative numbers. I don't need to because I have a whole one here. So I exchange the whole one for 6, 6. So now I've got 6, 6 and 2, 6. I have 8, 6. Now 8 take away 3 is 5. So the answer is 5, 6, which I cannot simplify anymore. The answer is 5, 6. Okay, so that was the answer to the second one, 5, 6. Now, the next question said, what could come next if these fractions were going in ascending order? So they are getting bigger. So we had 2 1/8, 2 1/4. Now, which of these three fractions is bigger? Well, do I even need to look at the fractions? Again, use what you know. I don't even need to look at the fractions because I can just look at the whole numbers. It doesn't matter what the fractions are because there are 3 wholes here and there's only 2 there. So it's got to be 3 1/100 is going to come next. These are still 2. I've got 3 there, so it's got to be 3 1/100. Think about making life easier for yourself. So let's go back to the quiz. Let's share results. Okay, so the question marks can stop. What are the results? What are the results? Okay. How did you do? Did you realize where you went wrong if you did go wrong? Tell me. What do we need to focus on next time? Tell me, what do we need? What do you find still a bit tricky? What did you like about today? What do we need to focus on a little bit more? Okay, so if you did not do very good, hopefully that was that you didn't do very good, not that the lesson was not very good. Could you please, please, please join the earlier lessons as well next week? Just to really, really lock down that thinking. Okay. Now, we do need to do more work on addition and subtraction, especially when it's whole numbers and when you have to exchange whole ones. So yes, we did well. Let me know, what did you like about today? What would you like to spend some more time on? We do need to do some problem work, so we are going to do problem work. But you liked everything. Oh, that's really nice. I liked everything about being with you too. And so did Rexy. Okay. And so did Purple Dragon. Why is Purple Dragon here today? Okay, so what would you like? Anything? It was great fun. Great. It was great fun having you as well. It's really nice to have you joining us. What would you like a little bit more work on with fractions? Is it some keep doing the simplifying, keep doing the addition and the tricky addition? Is that okay? I'm going to move on to multiplication and division. Okay, I will be moving on to that, and then I am going to do some decimal and percentage work as well. But I really want to sort of get us all in the groove of fractions first as well. So having mentioned those things, addition, subtraction, simplifying, ordering, I'm going to do some money work. Sometimes panics people a little bit. Which of those things that I'm mentioning would you like? Oh yeah, that'll be quite good. Oh yeah, move on to that. Thank you for it was great fun. That's lovely. Okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. 100% questions, right? That's pretty good. Money. Yeah, okay. Money. I think money sometimes really confuses people. So we are multiplying division. Yes, we're going to move on to that as well. We've got to do problems. Okay, we can't just do quick fire. We've got to do problem solving. Otherwise, you're not using your maths for any real reason. And life is full of problems. And that's why we're learning the maths, so that we can work out how much carpet we need, how much we need to measure here, how much money we have, how long it will take us to save. So some multiplication, division. Yes, money. Okay. Anything else? Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any other feedback? Anything else you want to say? What's this all about? What's it all about? Dragon. Okay. So thank you for joining today. Thank you so much for coming on a Thursday. Back to Tuesday next week, when I hope we'll have some conversation about the new app. Can you please download it? We will make sure we communicate. I'm just going to check before you go, see if I've had an answer about, no, I haven't had an answer about Android yet, about the Google Store, but it will be there very, very soon. So it's already on the Apple Store. It is free to play. Download it. Ask your grown-ups if you are allowed. Oh, I've lost you again now. Ask your grown-ups if you are allowed to send a comment in, if you are allowed to video yourself making a comment and giving us some feedback. You know, no names, no school uniform, nothing that identifies you, please. And you can send us comments, okay? It is called Cosmico. Let me write that up. Might be somebody who joined us a bit later. Let me write that up on here so you can see. It is called Cosmico. Okay? Cosmico. Yeah, Cosmico. Yep. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next Tuesday. Take care. Stay warm because it's wet and cold. Bye-bye. Oh, and bye-bye from Rexy as well.